Hello everyone, Kim here, Abundant Life Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. If you are returning and if you are new, welcome, welcome. I have a viewer question. From time to time, viewers do ask me questions, and I decided right here, right now, to record a video to answer that question. I want to send out a special shout out to my newest subscriber, Natural Nikki DST. She subscribed to the channel, she left a comment, and she posed this question: how to read tarot and oracle together. And I gave her a response to her question comment, and then I was like, I'm gonna record a video on it, because I went through all my videos and I didn't find a video that specifically, succinctly spells out how do I, me, Kim, Abundant Life Tarot, work with the two systems. So I'm gonna chit chat with you all about that today. Now, couple of things here. I guess I took it for granted. It's so a part of my reading style to combine tarot and oracle together that I just kind of assume that's what other people do. But every now and then I get reminded that there's people who only work with tarot, then there's people who only work with oracle. Some of us combine them. So it's just very unique to the reader on how they want to work with their different systems. So yeah, my reading style involves questions. So what I do is, let's say I have a querent who has a love question, and I'll break their love question into 1 to 3 solid questions, and then I use jumpers. You all, if you've been following me a while, you know that I like to overhand shuffle like this and see what cards jump out to the querent's question. I have to allot for a little extra time for this card reading style, but I do. My querents don't mind. And so whatever, let's say I'll look for 1 to 3 tarot cards that jump, and then I'll shuffle an oracle deck that I'm intuitively called to use for that reading and get 1 to 3 oracle cards to that particular question. And then I read all of the cards together, and I look to what the conversation's happening amongst the tarot and oracle, because to me, they talk to one another. The tarot is sometimes reflecting or fleshing out the meanings of the oracle, and likewise the oracle is clarifying, fleshing out the meanings for the tarot. I like to see how the comparing and contrasting of the two meanings and what they're saying. So it's just something I really appreciate about combining tarot and oracle. Now, yeah, I talked about that. Sometimes oftentimes I will use either tarot or oracle as a clarifier. So let's say I am doing a reading, I'm in the midst of a client reading, and the messages isn't really clear to me, or something, there's some aspect of it that I need further insight on from the cards or from spirit, right? And so I will listen to my intuition, and sometimes I'll grab the tarot and I'll shuffle and get 1 tarot card. Sometimes I will just use oracle as my clarifier, and sometimes I will pull 1 additional or have 1 additional tarot and 1 additional oracle card for 2 cards to give me further clarification. I'm a big proponent of leaning into my intuition to guide me on what direction to go when it comes to number of cards to have on the table per question, which decks to use. Do I need really any clarification, or is all the information before me in the cards that are already on the table? I listen to my intuition on a continual basis. Doesn't lead me astray, ever. Let's see. I also use oracle to close my readings. So what I mean by that is I usually do what's called a closing oracle message or closing oracle reading. And I will have done the entire tarot and oracle reading for a client and then a little separate closing. It never fails that the messages that are found in the closing oracle message tie up everything beautifully that was found and spoken on in the tarot and oracle reading. It's pretty cool. I never tire of seeing how spirit delights me in that way of like, okay, these are the cards that jump. I usually use, but not always, I have so many decks, I could use many, but I use my power of surrender for that purpose. Sometimes this is a great clarifier, this deck. It really is. But it also, for me, its specific purpose is closing the reading. And so I'll pull 1 to 3 cards to tie up the messages. And of course, they're jumpers. And of course, they always just sum up everything beautifully. So you can check out this deck. I'll try to remember to link in the description box a video or 2 surrounding this deck. I'm a huge fan of it. A huge fan. So yeah, let me see, do I have any other notes here? The other thing I wanted to mention before we switch camera angles and I do a quick demonstration reading for you of how I work with tarot and oracle together, is that if you are curious about my reading style, you can check out some of the demonstration videos that I do when I am posting a new spread on the channel. So for example, I recently posted something about setting your intentions for the new year spread. I did a blind spot spread. I did a creative blocks, creative life or life creative and life blocks, or yeah, spread. Can't remember what I called it. And what I do in those demonstrations is I will do a reading for myself when I'm trying to demonstrate to you all how to work with that particular spread, so you can do the work for yourself with that spread. So you can see in those demonstration videos how I work with tarot and oracle together. Another great way to see my personal reading style with tarot and oracle is by looking at my Mystery Mystic Monday readings. That is what I call like a teaching tool that I show for those who are interested in learning how to read the cards. Why? Because I am taking a subject matter and I am doing a reading on it. And yeah, it can be sometimes a bit hard to swallow the topic or subject that we're tackling. But what's cool about it is you can see how I'm interpreting the meanings with my intuition. You can see how the cards are speaking to one another. I do use oracle. I'm heavy oracle, by the way, and I use tarot sparingly because I feel like a lot of wisdom can be found in just 1 to 2, maybe 3 cards per question for tarot. And oracle is great as like little, little additions to help to bring out the flavor of the reading, if you will. So I don't like to, what is the word with tarot? I don't like to flood it, or that's not the word. You know how like you flush something out to the point that it's too watered down? That's what I don't want the message to be with tarot. I want it to be potent. So the tarot messages are clear and potent for me, usually with just 1 to 2 tarot cards, and then however like 1 to 3 oracle cards. So check out my Mystery Mystic Monday readings. You will see, especially if you see in the title it says tarot and oracle reading. Sometimes I'll do just only an oracle reading, but there's usually a main reading that I do for each topic or each person that I'm doing the reading on, and it'll say, usually it's like part 2, tarot and oracle reading, and you can see me do that all over the place. So now we're going to switch. I'm just going to pose a mock question from a client, and I will show you, okay, here's the question that the querent asked, and here's the question that the querent asked, and then here is how the cards jumped, and here is how I interpret those cards, and how I look at how the tarot and oracle talk to one another in order to answer the querent's question. All right, let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna just do a sample little reading, mock little scenario. Let's call her Amanda. Amanda wants to know how David, a guy that she's just recently started dating, what is he thinking about her and what's next for the relationship? So what we're going to do is we're going to post that into 2 questions. And so we'll be like, okay, first, what is David thinking about her and the relationship? We got the sun. And so if I really wanted to, I could say, okay, now how's he feeling about her? And so I could, so I can get a more, like a nice solid picture. Okay, 7 of Swords. All right. So the Sun, 7 of Swords. And so then we'll just pull from this little oracle deck. I might pull 1 card. Chaser, Hot Pursuit. Okay. All right. And I'll just say, I'll pull from this oracle. Healing family issues. And I'm feeling called to pull 1 more for Amanda's question on what does he think about her and really the relationship. And also usually when people are asking this, when people are asking that question, they also really want to know, like, how's he feel? Like, what's his intentions? So here we have the Sun, the 7 of Swords, Bounty Hunter, and on here, this deck, it has Chaser, Hot Pursuit. Then we have Healing Family Issues and Keep Your Options Open. So what this is telling me is that in terms of what he thinks about her, thinks about the connection, it is something that he looks forward to, thinking about. He feels positive about this connection. He really feels warm and fuzzy feelings when he's around her. When they're together, he is uplifted with the Sun card. There is this situation, though, in terms of like his intentions with the 7 of Swords. Some people would be like, oh, he's definitely cheating. But for me, with this card here, Keep Your Options Open, he's still kind of wanting to play the field a bit. He still wants to keep his options open. He's being, he's looking out for his best interests at the moment, and he will be for a while with the 7 of Swords, swords representing the timing of the season of winter, the timing of months. He will be in a season of just still kind of dating others, playing the field a bit, hot pursuit, chasing, seeing what else is out there. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't like her, that he's not vibing with her. We see that there's some clear, high positivity, high vibes with the Sun card. So in terms of when he's around her, he's feeling healed and restored and feels great about this connection. However, he still is still in a place in terms of his intention for the next foreseeable time period of like 7 months or so. Still kind of wanting to date, and what he does best, David does best, is pursuing her. So the guidance in this, if she really wants to see that this relationship can take off, is allowing him to chase her and to not be the one chasing him. Also, this could be a signal to maybe David having to heal some family issues, heal some, childhood wounds that, maybe get in the way of his dating life today. That could be coloring how he moves and acts and feels and thinks in, any relationship he finds himself in. So that is, answering that question. Then we could say, okay, well, what's next for this relationship? And we already kind of have an idea, but maybe she's like, oh, well, I really received this message, Kim. I see he still wants to keep his options open. I am going to be the one to let him, chase me. So if I let him chase me and I stop pursuing him and I stop being the one to call and initiate contact, what's next for us? What's next for me and David? So that's what Amanda is asking here. So then we have Seven of Wands. That's the card that jumped. What else? Anything else, Spirit? For Amanda and David, what's next for this relationship? Okay. Eight of Swords. This is interesting. And I'm seeing here, and now I'm going to tell you something in a moment that I'm going to do. It's like Spirit is giving some options here on what could happen if you don't set boundaries in this relationship. Knight of Swords. Okay. So we got the Seven of Wands, right? Eight of Swords. Knight of Swords. And then I'm going to pull what's next for the relationship. Okay. What's next for this relationship? We got the Eight of Swords. Oh my God. I can't make this stuff up. Oh. Hold on. What's next? I'm called to pull from a different. Okay, so let me scoot this down just a smidge so you can see what we got going on here. Seven of Wands is about setting healthy boundaries, setting up, having your defenses up, your walls up, and not just, give. Oh, I need him to hush. Oh, yeah. So anyways, setting healthy boundaries, and it's important that you do if you want the progression of this relationship. If you don't set healthy boundaries and start doing that within the next 7 weeks or so, you're going to see that there could be some anxiety surrounding this relationship in the coming months ahead. Okay. However, if you do set the boundaries and allow him to kind of drive the direction and the speed at which the relationship travels, then you can see some active pursuit on his part. Although you see how this gentleman's kind of running away from us. Again, he could be running towards, something greater with the relationship, or he could be running away. It's all dependent on how you approach things. If you learn this lesson today, this card says karmic, third party relationship or lesson. It could be 1, 2, or 3 of the keywords here. If you learn the lesson today, you can have some progression in your love life, in your general love life. However, if you don't, you're going to find yourself in the coming months ahead with a lot of anxiety surrounding this connection. This gentleman also is someone who is heavily, involved in his career. He's focused on his finances, or something about his finances or career is going to be really preoccupying him. So understand that could be a competing priority. That's why, again, it's important for you to make sure you understand what it is you need from your relationships, what you need from your partner. And then if your partner can't deliver, then you have to maybe weigh on whether or not it is something you want to stay in. I say this because of the imbalance and fragmentation card. There's the potential for that with this partner. And you both have to be in a place of being willing to be vulnerable to share what it is you really truly need and expect and want from one another. He may still just want to play the field for the next several months of this year, because why? He's focused on his career and finances. Let's do a closing oracle message for Amanda. Spirit, is there anything else that you wish to share with Amanda for her to impart on her love life, or just her life in general? We have surrender to rest and sleep. That's about prioritizing self-care. Hold on, I just want one more card. Okay, so we've got surrender to rest and sleep. And then if I really wanted to, sometimes I read these messages to the client. Sometimes I just go off of this. You need rest. You need to prioritize your health and well-being. So when you pull back from him, focus on, your self-care during this time. Also focus on affirmative prayer. We have surrender to prayer. So not just praying about him or this specific relationship, but for your greater good and your peace. And that you're aligning to love in all forms. And so that can make powerful shifts in the rest of your life and specifically your love life. But don't get so pigeonholed and hyper focus on one person being it. This card is also speaking to you, Amanda, keeping your options open too. And finally, surrender to your intuition. Lean into your intuition about this person. It says, tune into your inner voice. Be aware of any gut feelings, flashes, knowings, or aha moments that come through to guide you. Okay, so that's going to be very, very helpful for you, Amanda, in the next coming weeks and months. Wands representing the season of spring and the timing of weeks. Swords representing the timing of months. So, listen to your intuition about David. You'll know when to pick up the phone, when not. You'll know if you want to continue down this path with him. You'll know what to do next if you just slow down and listen to your intuition. So there you have it, folks. That's how I would do a love reading for Miss Amanda. And this is how I connect the dots, how I have the tarot talk to the oracle using my jumpers. This is how I close these readings too. This is one example. I could use another deck or just one card to tie it all up. But this is what I do, folks. This is how I have them talk to one another. And this is my reading style. This may not work for you. You may find a style that works a bit better. You may only need to use tarot. You may only need to use oracle. Sometimes I only use oracle, or I sometimes only use tarot, or sometimes I just use these cards. It just really depends on the question and what my intuition is guiding me to grab. I usually keep a few working decks on my table so I can just grab them on the ready and be ready to shuffle them as I need to. And so, let me know if you have any questions about this process that I do. Let me know your reading style. What do you do to prepare for your readings? How do you get your cards? Do you use tarot and oracle together? If so, why? If not, why? We want to hear from you in the comments section. Let's have a dialogue about this, because we often hear about, all the decks we get. We often hear about, let me deliver a love reading for you or the collective, or have live streams where people are asking questions. But I love to be able to show others how to do it for themselves so they can give it a go, especially if they're feeling the call to do readings for themselves or for others, especially. I enjoy doing client readings. It is something I learned early on about myself when I first started playing with cards, is that I knew that I was called to be a reader for others. Whereas some people know instantly they are called to be readers for just themselves, I knew pretty soon, as soon as I really started learning the card meanings, that I really wanted to read for others and that be my service to humanity. Do me a favor on your way out. Please hit the like button if this is something you appreciate. Also, it is an easy way to let me know if you like this kind of content and I can do more of these kind of examples. Also, subscribe. Please subscribe. Join my Abundant Life Tarot family and let me know in the comments section that you did. If you have a question, your question might be in a future video, because sometimes it's just easier for me to record a response versus writing out a long, drawn out comment response back to you. All right, my friends, take very good care of yourselves. I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.